Hey guys, welcome back to the Python tutorial for beginners. So now that we know we have Python installed and we have PyCharm, our IDE set up and working, today we want to look a little bit at the print statement that we actually used to verify our application in the last video. So we're going to use that print statement today, and we're going to build some shapes, and we're going to look at how Python actually reads instructions and uses it to print things out in order. But before that, let me say, if you find these videos helpful at all, please like and subscribe to the videos, and that way it'll give me a chance to let you know when I post new content, and then you can come right on and see it. But moving along, so to do what we're going to do today, we're going to go ahead and create a new project. So we're going to do this in PyCharm, and I'll just call it PyShape, and just hit create. I should make a new project up there. And once this is created, we're going to go ahead and make a new Python file for us to start working in. I guess it's taking just a minute to create it, so give me just a sec. It's really cool how it uses the print statements, how it does it one right after another. All the instructions are executed sequentially in your application, so you always know what's going to be done first. So once again, there's our project PyShape. We can look inside and it should be empty. Right, so we'll right click it and we'll add a new Python file, and we'll just call it shapes.py. Okay, so there's that. So I think the first thing that we'll just make something really simple. We'll make a square, right? So let's just do the print statements like we were doing before. And we're going to use asterisks to draw things out today. So there's one print statement. So that's the top row of the square. There's one of the sides. Try to make sure I get this lined up. And there's one of the sides. And actually I can just copy this line and paste it again, because I'm going to do the exact same thing. And then I can copy the top line and paste that again for the last line. So you can already get a look when you're writing out these print statements at what it's going to look like, because when Python executes your program, it does the first line first. It goes in order, like it'll execute this line, and then it'll execute that line, and then it'll execute that line, and then it'll execute the last line. So it'll draw it out just like we've drawn it out here. So let's go ahead and see. So we'll go to run. We'll choose our shapes configuration, and there you go. We have drawn a square out to the console. So I think the next thing we're going to draw out will be a triangle. Okay, now that we've drawn out our square, we're going to go ahead and try to draw out a triangle. So let me just get rid of most of this. Actually, we'll leave it and we'll just draw out the triangle below the square. So to do a triangle, we're going to do some spaces, because it'll literally keep all your spaces. So there's the top part. And then we'll go over a couple for those. Well, that was wrong. Hang on a second. A couple for those. We'll just keep these the same size. And we'll just continue here in this fashion. Put this one a little bit. Now let me just fix that real quick. Oh, I put a colon there. That's what I did wrong. So there's that. And now let's just make Okay, now let's see how that works. So we made our asterisk for our shape for a triangle. So we'll go ahead and try to run that again. So we're going to run, and then we'll choose the shapes configuration. And yep. There we go. Now you notice, I want you to notice something here. Notice that up here we have several spaces between the square and the triangle. But down here we don't have several spaces between the square and the triangle, right? That's because up here it ignores white space, right? If you actually want to print white space down here, you would need to come in and do a couple of blank print lines. And now we should have some space in between. Yep, see that? So we actually put those lines in between, because when it's executing your instructions one at a time, it just goes in order like we said before. But if it gets here, if there's any white space, it totally ignores it and goes to the very next statement. So really, even if you put 100 lines of white space in here, the Python interpreter is still going to just see it as like 8 lines jammed together, right? It doesn't pay attention to any white space. So if you want it to print a blank line out in your print statements, you have to actually tell it to do so. So you see those exited with a code of 0, so those are done. So I think that's all we want to do today. So to recap, we've just kind of learned how to use the print statement, to do a few more things, and also to learn how PyCharm and Python's interpreter execute lines sequentially, right, from the very first one to the very last one. They don't jump around. Just to demonstrate that, for instance, it doesn't have any idea that you're actually drawing a triangle. All it knows is it says, okay, print 1 asterisk here, and it does. Okay, print 2 asterisks here, and it does. So if we were to change this, let's just take it from here and put it here. So now if we run this, see, it prints it exactly as you have it laid out up there. It has no idea that it's printing a triangle. It just executes every one of these instructions sequentially. So you need to keep that in mind. The interpreter and the IDE are never going to know what you mean. They're only going to do exactly what you tell them to. But anyway, I think that's all for today. I think we'll go ahead and end it here. Let me just close out of this project that we have open. And I appreciate you guys watching, taking the time to watch these. Please, if you have any comments, let me know down below in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you again later. Thanks a lot.